Welcome back to the Lawrence County Animal Hour. And I am not Leanne Pettis. I'm Ginger Morgan. I'm here with Kathy Mott, who is a board member for FOLCA, and here with Lori Sanborn, and she is a new employee at the shelter. And last but definitely not least is Bumper. And so Bumper has been at the shelter for longer than me. He got there last March, and I got there last April. So he's been there. He's got a little seniority on me, but that's not good for him. So we need him to move out. And I was describing him as kind of nondescript. He's just Bumper. But I'm telling you, you can't tell now because he's a little out of his element. But he smiles a lot. He's got a funny and cute little personality. So I want you to tell us a little bit more about Bumper.
Yeah, it takes him a little while to become accustomed to strange places. But once he's comfortable, he's a little snuggle bug. He does like to sit with you. He's sweet. We just saw him with one of the outside cats, and he seemed okay with them. Was just curious about him. Didn't go after her or anything. So yes, he's just an all around good guy.
Precious.
He's about 2.5, 3 years old. Gets along, well, maybe with cats from what we saw today. He gets along with most people. I think I haven't seen him have any issues with people. And he gets along with other dogs.
Yeah.
And he is up to date on shots. He has been neutered, and he can go home with you today.
Yes.
And we'll talk, maybe he'll wake up a little bit. But yeah, he is a little shy at first. And for some reason, he doesn't like going in and out of doors. He had that issue when Lori was volunteering at the shelter.
Yep.
We had to carry him out of the kennel area and outside. He wouldn't just walk. Now he goes freely.
Yeah.
Now that he's used to it. So,
but then we had to pick him up here
right,
to walk
different.
in.
So not every doorway is the same.
Yeah.
There are different smells. So if you did adopt him, you might have to work with getting him in and out, to go outside and potty. But he is, from what I can tell, fairly housebroken.
Yeah.
I think. So Lori has now worked for the shelter for about 6 weeks. She volunteered at the shelter prior to that. One day, I think I got a call and she said, "Can I come by and talk to you about animal shelters?" I'm like, "Sure." And now here we are. Little did she know what 3 or 4
she didn't know what she was in for when she answered that call.
Ginger will keep you.
So Lori, tell us a little bit about your background. What kind of got you into wanting to be part of the animal shelter, and I guess part of the whole rescue movement, because you started out doing something different when I met you.
I did, yeah. So I called Ginger because I was taking an online class, online and in-person class called running a life-saving animal sanctuary. And it's put on by Southern Utah University and Best Friends Animal Society. And it's a great course. If anyone's interested in it, they run it twice a year. So in my head, I thought, well, I'll start my own sanctuary, because that's what people do. So I took the course, learned a lot, but one of our assignments was go and find your municipal shelter, talk to them, find out what their challenges are, what successes they have, what they could do different, things like that, and try to build a connection there. And so that's when I met Ginger, and I saw how overwhelmed the shelter was because we had so many animals, and decided.
And that deterred you from opening your own.
No, well, not quite, but the class was good in that they brought in lots of people that showed you other aspects of running a sanctuary or helping animals. And running a sanctuary may not be for everybody. And I think that's more what I learned, that I don't think I have all of the resources and capability of running it myself, but I can help in other ways and I can do other things. So I decided to go in that direction, and we'll see where that goes after that. So yes, but I've been involved. I've had a dog my whole life. I've had dogs my entire life. I'm allergic to cats, but I currently have 2 cats. Don't ask how that happened. It's a long story, but and so yeah, I've always had dogs. I always loved dogs. Dogs seem to follow me around. It's just
And the
it's just
cats
part of
do
me.
at the shelter
And apparently
as well.
cats
Yeah.
do too. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and the cats do.
Yeah. So yeah. So once I retired, it's like, okay, what can I do? I'll do something with animals. And
So I think that's interesting when you said once I retired. So several months ago, or even last year, before I even started working here, people were like, "Why don't you retire?" And I'm like, "Well, if I retired, I'm still going to seek out the animals.
Yep.
So, and I'm going to be there all the time. So I may as well just work." And so
Yes.
you were volunteering, and now you kind of come out of retirement to work at the shelter.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the insight that you give from having been taking that class.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been helpful as well. And you keep us organized.
it's
She's
a
the-
flaw.
She has many good qualities, but trying to keep us organized is one of them. So what I want to know is, did you put the boot rack up today?
I didn't. Not yet. I still got to make the walking chart.
Oh, she likes to do charts. Keeps us up. So Kathy, I don't know. I mean, we all know that you're a board member for FOLCA, but how did you wind up in that position? Because I have no idea.
Well, I have had animals, grew up on a farm, dogs, cats, goats, you name it. But I used to help another shelter occasionally when I could. And then I knew Beth and Leah Ann, and they needed help and knew that I was passionate about animals. So that's kind of how I became on the board. So I've been on the board for 2 to 3 years now.
Okay.
But I enjoy doing that and doing everything we can to help the shelter and help the dogs. And before anybody asks about the cats, because I've had people to ask me about cats, the ones at the shelter just decided they wanted to come and live there.
Exactly. We don't house cats.
We do not. The shelter does not house cats, and but dogs of plenty, all sizes and shapes. Just be your best friend forever. But the cats will need to find a home outside and be snipped.
Yes, the cats are going to be snipped very soon.
Yes, yes. And we can speak about snips.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. The FOCA group, the Friends of Lawrence County Animals, we tried to host spay and neuter for dogs and cats. Depends on various things, but have had a lot of success. I think over 200 this year, but it's just amazing when we have a clinic, which you can call a number at any time. And no, I don't have the number right now, but I can get it. But we've had clinics to where you bring your animal, you sign up, you bring your animal. Usually it's about 30 to 40 pets. You can bring your animal, and thanks to Spay and Neuter program in Columbia, they will help you. We transport up there and transport back in the afternoon. And, they do the Spay and Neuter program up there, and they're really good at it. And we're thankful to be in partnership with CASA up there.
And that the Spay and Neuter program, and we've said this many times, we cannot adopt ourselves out of the situation that we're in Lawrence County.
Right.
And it's not unique to this county. It's every county. If you have a dog, you need to find some place for it to go.
Right.
Everybody's full. Everybody is is passable. We're over capacity at this point by a good 90%. So we've done really great at adopting dogs out and moving them to other rescues, but as soon as one goes out, two come in. Like I think we got three
or a whole litter.
Four, yeah, we got 3 or 4 dogs in yesterday after we had adopted some out over the weekend and stuff. So it's a revolving door. Well, thank goodness it's revolving and it's not just coming in. We do have dogs going out, and we really appreciate the community looking to us to find their new best friend. There's this song goes through my head, money can't buy you love. It can at the animal shelter.
It can, definitely.
And we have extended our $20 adoption fee through the end of October.
Okay.
Through the end of September. I'm sorry, I forgot what month. I'm moving ahead. Once you have one event, you're moving to the next one, and you're working months ahead of time. But we are extending that. So for $20, you get a dog that's up to date for all of its shots, says age appropriate shots. If you get a puppy and it's only had 2 rounds of shots, you bring it back to us to get its third. Adult dogs, they've got that. We also have them spayed or neutered, obviously. And so all that, if we put a price tag on everything that we did and we microchip them, so it's probably a good $200 to $250 depending on the vet you use and resources, and you're getting that for $20. So it's a great deal. So, and we've had some really wonderful adoptions, and I love it. If you're out there, you've adopted from us, please send me a text message or on Facebook, on our Facebook page, Lawrence County, Lawrenceburg Animal Shelter, and send me your happy stories.
Oh, yes.
I keep getting this. I'm behind on putting them out there, but we adopted out 2 yellow labs recently, and I get pictures of
that was precious.
The boy laying on the couch, and the 2 labs are around him. They're not protective, but they're not protective. I think if somebody, they're not vicious or anything, but if somebody attempted to do something to their boy, they may change their mind very quickly, right? So this coming Saturday is Puppy Mill Awareness Day. And if anybody out there doesn't know what a puppy mill is, I'll give you a brief description. But what it is where you have a breeder who is breeding all different types of dogs. They may have Yorkies to literally Great Danes and anything in between. And the conditions that they live in are pretty deplorable. A lot of times, the smaller dogs and even maybe the bigger dogs are stacked on top of a kennel that's just a wire kennel. They are a lot of times never let out until somebody comes in and rescues them, I've seen videos of them like the first time that their feet ever touched grass. Yes. And it's pretty horrific. And, you don't know that you're getting you wouldn't know that you're getting a dog or a puppy from a puppy mill unless you go see. So if you are, let's say you want a Yorkie and that's your dog, and you're not going to probably find a Yorkie at the Lawrence County, Lawrenceburg Animal Shelter. Very seldom. I don't think. I've worked there for like a year and a half now, and I haven't seen a Yorkie. But if that's what you have your mind set on, do a little research. Tell the person that you want to meet the parents. See where the puppy has been living.
Yes.
So, Kathy, do you have anything you want to add to what I'm saying on that?
Well, I know there's a large organization in Colorado that particularly takes and tries to help the puppy mills. But it, like you said, when they come in, they're just in sad shape. So, like Ginger said, research, but always, if you can go to our shelter, or if you're listening outside the area, I know we have a lot of listeners. outside the area, go to your shelter or come to us. We've had, thankfully, out of Nashville and various others.
We've had people come from all over the place.
Just great success stories. And I mean, you can look at this precious baby and just so laid back and so gentle.
And I think you can tell that he's not abused and he hasn't missed any meals. And although he doesn't like to walk in and out of doors, he has a nice time outside.
Right. But yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to look at some of the points that we've got here. And it adds, just like Ginger said, what is the puppy mill? I think most of us know. We've heard about it and various other things, people that are just not good to animals. And most of the time, if you get something from a breeder that's not upstanding and loving their animals and making sure they're healthy, the dogs will have issues. The majority of the time, they'll have health issues.
So, Lori, when you did the Best Friends thing, did they talk about puppy mills at all?
A little bit, yeah, but mostly around, you'll see, we could see, if you were in a sanctuary, you're going to end up seeing dogs probably from one, but nothing too in depth about it because, I mean, yeah, we were learning how to save them, not really going in deep into, but they did have stories. So
I know there's a national organization called Bailing Out Benji that works on legislation. I know they've kind of gone in on some stuff on some puppy mills, and also I think they've done some stuff with the research that are being done on animals as well. But a lot of times, okay, so when let's just put let's compare apples and oranges actually. So when you come to the shelter, our puppies, as far as we know, they are healthy.
Right.
They're dewormed. They have their vaccinations. You get them, it's $20. When you go and maybe you buy from the person who says they're the reputable breeder, and they're not, which I'll talk about reputable breeders in a minute. And it's coming from a puppy mill. Many times that dog is sick. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times, even just here in Lawrenceburg, people will say, well, I got my dog from blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, probably a puppy mill. And then they said, well, it got sick and it died. And they paid $500 or $600 for it. Absolutely. And it's not the money at that point. It's the fact that you are attached to this living being. And it shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. But to breeders, most people who run animal shelters and animal sanctuaries are adamant that people should not breed. But, if you want a Yorkie, again, you're not going to find it at the shelter. If you want, a particular breed that you can't find at a shelter and you think you're going to need it to get it from a breeder, ask questions. Yes. You want to see the mom and dad on site. You don't want somebody to bring you a puppy and meat in the middle of, Walmart in the middle of the night, kind of thing. Right. You want to know what you're doing. And most reputable breeders will say, hey, if something happens to this puppy, I want to know, I want to keep up with it. If something happens, you can't keep it, it comes back. It goes back to that breeder. Now, I'm still going to say, we have some designer breeds at the shelter.
Beautiful, beautiful faces.
Yeah, we have all of them, and seriously, we have. But probably our smallest dog that we have right now is give or take about. I think that would be Bailey, which is probably
or Buzz.
Yeah, Buzz is tall but thin, but probably 20 pounds. So we have the smallest, and then we just got a Great Dane in that weighs, we don't know how much he weighs, because one, I'm not sure he'll fit on a scale, but he doesn't want to get on a scale. But he weighs at least 150 pounds, and I'm thinking he probably weighs real close to 200.
Yep.
I'm going on 193 pounds. That's my guess. And here, I want to name him Moses, but if somebody else out there wants to come up with a name to name him, I am open. We've already had an Apollo, Who else? Let's see. We have a Hercules. So we need a big, strong name. I thought Moses was kind of short, or Goliath. Moses or Goliath.
There you go.
Atlas.
Huh?
Atlas.
Atlas. Yeah. So out there in radio land,
Yeah. Yeah.
comment and see.
Yeah. But back to the breeders and people wanting full-blooded dogs. I mean, we have so many that
We
are.
do, yeah.
We have the chocolate lab. We have a husky that
we have a
recently came
beautiful
in.
husky.
Yeah, he's
We have
gorgeous.
a coonhound. We have a what is Boone?
I feel like he's what people call coonhound too, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I guess maybe he's the red bone coonhound, and the other
Oh,
one is
maybe.
the black and tan.
Maybe
like,
yes. We have a
like-
German Shepherd.
Yeah, we have. No, our Great Pyrenees, our full-blooded Great Pyrenees got adopted, but we do have a pure mix. We have, if pit bulls are your thing, we have some beautiful,
Beautiful.
yes, beautiful, pit
Precious,
bulls.
just sweet.
Yeah.
And my grand dog, I've talked about Gonzo before, but my grand dog is a pit and a lab mix. And when we did the walk out there, the afternoon that we did the walk and walked the dogs, and Charlotte and Kobe came and filmed for us, 2 or 3 that were the biggest babies. Just roll over and just pet me. That's
they're-
all they ask for, and that's the way Gons is. I mean, big baby. All you see is him, but there's a lot of them that just have the sweetest personality and the various kinds. And like I said, you can look up on the screen all kinds of beautiful, precious dogs.
And we can talk about the dogs up there as well. But anyway, so the try, if you're getting a puppy from a breeder, find out what you're getting.
Yes.
And like Lori said, we have a lot of purebred, or I'm talking about they sure look purebred. I mean, we've got a beautiful, and she was on here not long ago, but a beautiful yellow lab named Sally that's she's kid friendly. She's beautiful.
He is pretty.
Rocket.
And Rocket, yeah.
Weimaraner, maybe lab mix, but
Yeah.
mostly Weimaraner, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah. they're both just beautiful. But let's see, we can talk about there's a puppy.
That's Zulu.
That's
Zulu's
Zulu.
my favorite.
And Zulu is still at the shelter.
I don't
She's
know
probably
why.
about 4 months old now, I think.
Yeah, but she's not that big.
No, she's not.
Yeah, we have other ones that are the same age, and they're like almost double her size.
Yeah, she's not big at all. And she came in with Bravo and Echo,
2 brothers, yeah.
and they're gone, and she's there by herself.
She is. Yep. She's
Now
very.
she has-
She's my favorite. I can't believe she's still there. I can't take her. But she's so observant. She'll sit there and watch what's going on around her. When all the other puppies are over playing, she sits there and watches what everybody's doing.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
once you said that the other day, I started noticing, and she does do that very same thing.
Yeah. When you take her for a walk, she has to walk herself. So she's wonderful on a leash, but she has to hold the leash in her mouth as you're going along, and she'll go wherever you want as long as she can hold the leash in her
That's
mouth.
funny.
Sweet.
Speaking of Zulu and puppies, if you are looking for a puppy, we have puppies. We have adopted out a lot of puppies this year. However, we probably still have 25,
At
I think,
least,
somewhere
yeah.
between 20, 25, 28. At one point, I think we had
40.
40 or a lot. Really, yeah, we had a lot of puppies. Again, spay and neuter your pets. Spay and neuter your pets, so we don't go through this again. Usually puppy and kitten season is in the spring, but it hit us. I can't tell you how
Summer.
many litters of puppies we got that were born in June.
Yes.
So now they're 3-4 months old. So, and we have them. And you can go online on Pet Finder. They're all on Pet Finder. I need to update their photos, but they are there, and it's $20 for everything. But usually the first year of a dog's life is the most expensive. Well, until they get to be over 10 or 12. But the first one is the most. Let's see who's behind me.
Is it Pierre?
That could be. There's Cash. You know, Cash came in, and he was adopted out, and his dad really loved him, but he had one of those electric fences, and Cash kept jumping over it. Or I think he said a couple times somebody had actually even taken the collar off of Cash. But Cash has such a great personality. He doesn't. If you need just a, I think he's a man's dog. You know what I'm saying? He's just. I love him, and he is so funny, and we have this bizarre relationship that, he just looks at me and smiles, and then when I try to take him for a walk, he's like, what? Anyway, I digress. But so also this Saturday is Responsible Pet Owner, the AKC Responsible Pet Ownership Awareness Day. That's kind of hard to say. So one of the things about getting a dog from wherever you're going to get it, hopefully from the Lawrence County Lawrenceburg Animal Shelter, because we are close.
Tongue Out Tuesday.
Oh yeah, it is. It's Tongue Out Tuesday, and I forgot to put my tongue out. So here we go. I need to.
There's several in a row. You can't say them, but they
And
are.
that's little Aries. So he's a German Shepherd mix. He's a puppy. That's Bentley. No,
Conrad.
there's Conrad. So I can see it in the reflection over here.
Conrad's a sweet one too. He loves to play. He does that. He's a big dog, so he's very conscious of being a big dog. So he doesn't jump on you, but he wants to jump and play. So he'll do that short jump. If you've ever seen big dogs do that, he'll do that little jump and then turn around and look at you and then try to go in a circle and then go off. So he loves to play.
And Bentley also is one that's just precious.
Bentley is,
when we were out there, and just such a super dog.
The other dog that I said was Bentley is actually Duke. We have two Dukes.
Yep.
And that particular Duke, he knows how to sit, how to down, how to high five, how to speak. I mean, he'll do all of it. Oh. He's already trained. Somebody out there come get that adorable dog.
Yeah.
Well, all of our dogs are adorable, but
they are.
I digress. Anyway, so what is it to be a responsible pet owner? I think we probably all have different ideas of what that is. Like my dogs sleep with me, so that's being responsible. But other people's dogs don't sleep. They have nice dog beds, and that's being responsible. But one of the things that people need to think about when they get a dog, and at my age now, I start thinking about it, because if I decide I want to get a puppy, well, where am I going to be in 15 years? Well, I'm not going to tell you how old I'm going to be in 15 years, but let's just say 15 years older than I am today.
I like that.
And what at that age, what am I going to be able to pick up? How am I going to maneuver getting, a big dog someplace?
Right.
Now, I like big dogs. What is it? I like big mutts. I cannot lie. Yeah. So, but, even back 5 years ago, I told myself any new dogs I get, they need to be small. So, yes, I've got myself a Great Pyrenees mix, and he weighs 90 pounds. So in 10 years, I still might have issues picking him up, because to me, a dog I'm just saying it's like a 13 to 15 year commitment. Mm-hmm. And it's whatever happens to your life, the dog is part of it. Mm-hmm. And I know people don't like for me to say that my dogs are my children,
but they are.
But they are. And I wouldn't move anywhere that I couldn't take them with me. Mm-hmm. Or my cat. I don't have a cat right now, but I did when I moved to Lawrenceburg. Right. And I will probably get another one at some point. But I'm not going to make those commitments. I'm not going to bring in a dog if I think I'm not going to be able to take care of it. Right. Or, and things happen. People wind up falling and breaking hips and doing things like that, and you have to have help or whatever. But, let's bar anything like that, serious happening. Right. Just because you move, it doesn't mean that your dog can't go with you.
Right.
I used to get a lot of calls when I ran the shelter in Memphis. They're like, well, I'm moving to, let's just say Arizona, and I can't take my dog with me. And me being a smart aleck, I'm like, I didn't realize there was a ban on dogs in Arizona. You know, I mean, I think I bit my tongue off several times, but I think one time that did actually come right out of my mouth because what,
Right.
you know, why?
Yeah. And that's how we got Aries. His dad moved.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about that. So,
And there are instances to where I know with one of the gentlemen was going in the service, and you know that's an exception. You just can't take your dog to the military. But thankfully, we had a veteran out there that had a dog similar and adopted and everything. But like you said, I house and doggy sit for a friend of mine, and she uses the little pads for her dog. And I was never used to that. My dogs go, in and out, and, they go outside to do business. But she told me I'm older and I'm thinking forward. Maybe I can't get her outside, as agilely anymore.
Right.
And that makes sense. But she's thinking ahead and wants to be a responsible pet owner. And she uses the puppy pads. Very sweet, precious dog. I enjoy doggy sitting, but that's something to think about. Like you said, you're going to have that dog, and it's a commitment. It's to me, it's like you said, it's a child.
It's a child.
That's your child, and you got to be responsible. You've
Right.
got to do veterinarian care. You've got to feed the dog and water the dog and bathe the dog and brush the dog, but it's all worth it. That dog is
Right.
all worth it because they love you, they're devoted, they protect you, or they take a nap.
or they take a nap. He's protecting my feet right there. So, the thing is, last year I had a dog. Well, I've had several dogs. They have gotten older, and then they've had mobility issues. If I have mobility issues, that's going to be, that's why I'm saying I need to pare down the size of my dogs as I get older. But you mentioned vet visits. One, your dog needs to have a rabies shot
Right.
every year because that's the law in Tennessee.
Yes.
I think you can get 3-year rabies shots at some veterinarian offices. I don't think all of them do that. But the other thing is they need to be on heartworm prevention, flea and tick medications, because those can cause diseases that can kill your dogs.
Yes.
And you need to take your dog to the vet at least once a year just for them to look over it and see, because, maybe it has a little arthritis that we're not noticing, but the vet's going to notice from the way that the dog walks. I was listening to something not long ago, and it said, people think, oh, my dog is healthy, it doesn't need to go to the vet. And then when it gets sick, they're like, well, this has really been something that's been going on for years.
Right.
We just didn't know it because we don't know everything. I'd like to think that I do, but I don't. So, and provide decent food for your dog. Provide the food that you can afford. I know for me, that's me. I know there are better foods out there, but at this point, I'm doing what I can afford.
Right.
So just do the best that you can afford and go from there. Make sure they have plenty of it. They don't need to be fat because that causes its own issues. But and we probably all feed our dogs everything. But and exercise. So the exercise one is good for you. It's good for your dog. So you came out exercising with walking the dogs because you wanted to start. You started hiking and then you started walking the dogs.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and it's and you were hiking with your friends.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. We started it actually started on Facebook. There's a group of ladies, and that's how we met and started walking. And I've been out for a few weeks, but we go about 3 times a week. Yeah.
Yes.
And then
do
a
that.
couple of it, not just you, but then was it Deb?
Another
part of
one,
that?
yeah.
And so they both then started coming and walking the dogs
Right,
at the shelter.
Yep.
So, that's another thing. We need volunteers. And we have a great little path
We do.
around. I mean, it's kind of hilly and it gets you
Shaded.
and it's totally shaded.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's a quarter of a mile around. If you want to grab a friend at lunch or something, it's
Yeah.
getting cooler, so you wouldn't get too hot. Walk a couple of our dogs
Yeah.
during your lunch hour.
Or even if you don't want to walk them, we have the 2 play yards too that
Exactly,
are open,
yeah.
and take a dog out and let it run around and play.
Yes.
We have a dog that has some skin issues right now, and she loves going out and rolling around in
rolling
the grass.
around, yeah.
Because her back itches, I'm sure. So yeah,
And we
just
have
taking him out, and letting him play.
And Flora loves to play ball.
Yes.
So she will bring, I don't know who
Yeah.
taught her out there to bring the ball back to you, or she
I did
just
it the first time, and she just started doing it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
lucky us.
Yes.
Because sometimes many of them want me to throw the ball, and then as soon as I throw it, they look at me like, "Ooh, that's great. Can you throw it
Yeah.
again?" But they don't go get it.
No.
So, and training your dog to be kind of acceptable in public,
Right.
and that is, I mean, I used to train dogs, and mine were all trained. Now mine they're not trained. I have a Pyrenees mix, and he does nothing but smile, and that's his name is Smiley. But the other one, I don't know. During COVID, I paid a lot of money for these one-on-one classes for her, and
But I think training too, I think a lot of people
but
might be intimidated by it, but it's not. It could be as simple as there's lots of people, particularly in the country, that their dogs are outside.
Right.
Well, but that doesn't mean they don't need to be socialized or trained, because if they get away from you, or if they're not used to being on a leash,
right.
now you don't know how they're going to react with other people or other dogs, or, then they become a danger to both themselves and other people.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because now we have an animal control officer for the county. We have one for the city as well. But if dogs haven't been on a leash,
it's hard.
They flop around and they're going to hurt themselves. They're going to potentially they're going to be afraid. And I mean, I know that both animal control officers have been snapped at one point in time.
Yeah.
So it's just, they don't have to stand on their back legs and twirl around and speak and do all that. But if they could just, you get them acclimated to other people, other places, they can sit. Right. A lot of times, like I teach my dogs to sit, not the pure mix, okay, but because if they're doing something that I don't want them to do, and I tell them to sit, it refocuses their attention on the sitting.
Yes.
And then they'll stop. And that's, I mean, seriously, just teaching your dog to sit is a great tool, all on its own. So the socialization, if you have a puppy, puppies should meet, 100 people by the time they're 12 weeks old. And those people are different. It can't just be, you take your dog to your family reunion, right? And you have a large family. I do. So I would probably get close to 100 people at my family, but they need to be introduced to people that are different than you are.
Yes.
That their skin color is different, that they wear hats and glasses, people with long hair, people with sunglasses, cowboy hats, baseball hats. Rose today barked at somebody with a baseball hat on because she wasn't used to seeing anybody in a baseball hat.
Yep.
So that made me think that, well, you know what, we probably need to every once in a while put a baseball hat on and just walk through the kennels just to get dogs used to that.
That's a good idea.
And our sunglasses, dogs like to see your face. So do kind of those kind of things. And it's a safety issue. If you're walking your dog and somebody else is walking a dog and they have a hat, a beard, sunglasses, all that, and they're not your same, they don't have the same ethnic background, your dog might not be okay with them.
Right.
They need to see everybody.
Well, and to just interrupt for a moment, but
Oh, you can
when
interrupt me because you know I can talk.
well, I just thought of when you had all the puppies at one time. You puppies in your office, puppies in the bathroom, puppies in a little swimming pool. Trying to keep them separated to make sure to find out that everybody was healthy. But you had various families that came just for the purpose of petting puppies and giving them some interaction. So any time, any volunteers, if that's something you want to do, is just come and socialize a puppy or just do a one-on-one with one of the doggies there and go for a walk or take it out to the play yard. But there's so many things, laundry, so many things you can volunteer for.
So many things you can volunteer to do. But I think most people would just rather volunteer to play with the dogs. But hey, if you want to do laundry and the dishes, we've got that for you as well.
Yes.
I don't remember. I don't know if I remember if I mentioned it or not, but we have people training the dogs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Did I mention that?
Oh,
Okay,
good.
So starting this morning, we had 3 ladies at the shelter that came in, and we had some puppies that really needed some extra socialization, and they worked on 3 or 4 of the puppies for about an hour or so. They're going to come back on Thursday, do another group of puppies.
That's great.
And then we're going to work on that sitting and things like that. So if you're interested in volunteering, you think you might want to be on the, let's see, what do we call our training team? I don't know. It's my dream team, I think, but because that's one of the things that I've always wanted to do is have the dogs trained at the shelter. That's one of the things how I started volunteering at the shelter in Memphis was I had trained my dog to be a therapy dog for the Humane Society. And then because I had trained my dog, the then executive director said, hey, can you train ours? And there were a couple of us that would meet a couple of times a week. And then it just went from there. So, and I wound up with way too many dogs, but that's, you can volunteer and not, I can tell you, no, you cannot adopt any dogs.
Right.
And my fingers are crossed, right?
And her legs.
And my legs and my toes, his toes, everything. So, so what, have I missed anything on being a responsible pet owner? You've got food, it's a long life.
I think the only thing, and I only say this because of one of the dogs I have a dog that does not like other dogs. And it's an assumption when you take a dog out walking or to a park or anything like that, all dogs like all other dogs and they're all friendly. And I've had to yell at people hey, your dog is over here. Oh, it's okay. He's friendly. It's like, no, I'm not worried about yours. I'm worried about mine.
Yeah, I was just telling somebody.
So I think people just don't realize that, they think, okay, well, he's just a puppy. He's not going to hurt anyone. But my dog doesn't like other dogs. And that's just how he is. There are some dogs that are like that.
Right.
So it's just being aware of
there's some
others.
people that doesn't like other people.
That is true.
So there you go.
That's
I
true.
know nobody like that.
But I always ask, if my first thing is, if I see a dog, or we have drivers that come to where I work and they have a dog out in their truck, and I see it, then of course I want to pet it. But always ask.
Yes.
Don't assume. Always ask. Or if you've got a dog and it's very friendly, always say, is it okay if I pet it? And, abide by that, yes or no.
Yes.
And, take that advice. And because some of them are just happy to see anybody and just pet me.
Yeah.
But some are not.
So
Most of these are, I can tell you. Most of these are just rub me, pet me.
Pet me. Don't walk past me. Pet me. So what Lori said, all dogs are not friendly to other dogs.
Yeah.
And the people, because I had one that she wasn't not friendly, but if another dog got in her face, that was,
It's on.
it's on, right?
Right.
And she was 85 pounds. Same thing, like this guy was working in his yard, he had his little Jack Russell, and I'm walking, my 85-pound dog, and his dog comes flying out of his yard just to say hello. And he's like, "Oh, it's okay. He's friendly." And all I had to do was like, "Mine's not."
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't, that's all I said.
Yes.
And then he was, after his dog, but
Right.
you just can't assume that all dogs are friendly.
No.
And if somebody has their dog on a leash and it's not friendly, and your dog that is friendly is not on a leash but runs up there, I want to say that anything happens, it's the dog running at large's fault. So
You're responsible for your
you
pet.
do not want that to happen. So
One thing I want to do, sorry, I want to thank some of our sponsors.
yes, because I started out with that, and then I just went.
One of those squirrels.
Exactly. It was a puppy.
Puppies, yeah, it wasn't squirrels, it was puppies. But Dr. Jason Ford with Lawrenceburg Eye Care, thankfully his wonderful wife is on our board, president of our board. Hearing Services in Middle Tennessee, we thank you. And Story and Lee, I've been to visit Story and Lee lately, and we're thankful they're dog people, and they're always willing to give us support and help. And of course, our very own WLX, WDXC, we're always thankful to Roger and Charlotte and Kobe and the group for allowing us an hour to be here and talk about the needs of the dogs. And that's something that hasn't been done, until they started doing that. They would even take time to come out to the shelter and do videos on their own time, volunteer to take videos. But we're always thankful for our sponsors. We're always thankful for opportunity.
What that allows us, one, to have this
Yes.
hour.
Yes.
And then I can't tell you. So we started this, I want to say last November, December, I think.
so.
I can't remember exactly, but we've been doing it for almost a year now.
Yes.
And last year, from January to December of 24, we adopted out and transferred out 109 dogs. And I was so happy at that 109.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just wanted to get to 100. But because of this hour and so many of the other things that WLX does for us,
Yes.
this year, drum roll,
Absolutely.
that's a bad drum roll. Don't do that. We have adopted out and transferred out 226 dogs so far this year, and we are middle September. So my goal,
Thank you.
I guess I didn't set my goal at the beginning of the year very high, I guess, but I wasn't even thinking, but I was hoping we would get out like 125. And so we've already surpassed by 101 the goal that I had for us. But it's being able to do this that helps that. It's the people, if you can't come to the shelter and volunteer, like our page,
Yes.
our Facebook page,
Absolutely.
Lawrence County, Lawrenceburg Animal Shelter, and share those posts.
Yes.
Because that's how we get our dogs adopted.
Right.
Showing them here, bringing Bumper here. I know somebody's going to call me. Oh, and if you would like to to adopt Bumper, my number is 931-244-0265. Now, the radio voice, it's 931-244-0265.
I always want to say Delilah. You have that Delilah voice.
I didn't even realize that until I think you said it when we were doing something, raising money for the dishwasher, I think. So, and we want to thank Folka. I probably, at some point next week, you guys will announce how much you guys raised at the event this past Saturday night. It was wonderful.
Our finance person, Miss Beth, took a needed vacation, but has returned. So we're still going through the numbers, but it was an awesome evening raising funds. Last year we raised funds for the play yard. This year we're still raising funds. We have not met our goal yet, but raising funds for a needed intake center. Ginger always tries so hard when she gets smothered with new intakes. Yes, thankfully we've had 100 and something dogs out, but we have over 100 dogs now. Spay
Yes.
and neuter, please. But FOCA, that's our goal. We're all volunteers, and we want to help raise funds. If the shelter, Ginger and the shelter need a dishwasher, if they need a new washer and dryer, she's not asking for brand new. It's just, it died and I need a replacement. But anyway.
Or I need a filing cabinet. I don't care what
Yes.
it is. I just need a filing cabinet.
But
We don't have to have new at the shelter.
always, yes, always contact Ginger or look on Facebook or social media. WLX carries it also, but our FOCA group, we always need funds for the shelter and are thankful if it's $5, $500. We're thankful for every dollar.
Absolutely. It's, I stretch that dollar as far
Yes,
as
you
I
do.
can
Yes, you do.
possibly stretch it. I want to thank the county and the city for funding
Oh,
us.
yes.
I mean, we're
Yes,
lucky
thankful.
in that respect. It's just that, we have more dogs than we can take care of. Well, we're taking care of them and they're getting
Yes,
play,
you
but it's
are.
the volunteers
Yes.
that's really helping us. But it's just come out to the shelter. It's different.
Yes,
It's different,
It's
I
very
think.
different.
We have more volunteers. The dogs are happy. I can't, we had two men, new to the dogs, yesterday. Well, I wasn't there so much yesterday because I was running errands and doing paperwork. But today, they were installing security systems and the dogs were not barking at all. I mean, I was just like, this is like eerily quiet. I was like wanting to look, get up and say, what did we feed them this morning that made them all sleepy? But they weren't even barking. Did you notice that?
I did. Well,
it was,
yes, I did.
It was it was amazing
It was.
at how, and maybe it's because we have more people coming in and out too, but
Yeah.
they just seem to be more comfortable. They get out.
You've
we're able
made
to-
such a big difference. I was there several years ago, and you work with what you have and try to do your best, but you go above and beyond in your group anytime you go out there. You can tell they love animals, and the animals love them. We would get through with our walk, and just soon as they spot Ginger or, you or somebody or one of the guys, they're just happy and wagging, but we want them happy and wagging at your house.
Exactly. And you can bring them back to visit at any point and they can be happy to see me again. They just need to stay at your house.
Yes.
So
There you go.
it is. I think we have a really good team together now. There are times I'm looking for somebody because I need to give somebody information. I can't
Yes.
find them because Lori or Adriana or Sherry, whoever I'm looking for, they're walking a dog and they're on the other side of that track from where I am.
Yes.
So then I kind of wait for a little bit and then I go do something else and then they've already taken another dog out. I think we need like a system out there where I can say, "Hey, oh, did I wake you up?" So Bumper is looking for a home.
Yes.
And I call him Bumpy most of the time, but he has the greatest little personality.
He does. He's precious.
He's
Yes, you
he's almost 3. He's been neutered, up to date on shots, gets along well with others, and likes to snuggle. And let me tell you something: wintertime is coming, and you're going to want somebody to
Yes.
keep your feet warm.
You would do that, wouldn't you?
I'm just saying,
Yes.
he is your dog.
Yes.
Come get him. You can call me at 931-244-0265. Again, 931-244-0265.
Absolutely. And once again, thank our sponsors really quick before we have to go. Dr. Jason Ford, Lawrenceburg Eye Care. He can fix you up, get your eyes checked. Hearing
make an
Services of Middle Tennessee. If you need your ears checked, Story and Leaf, you need furniture, appliances, and WLX X, our greatest radio station.
For your listening pleasure.
Yes.
So, well, Kathy, thank you so much.
Thank you always.
I hope Leanne
And I'm
doesn't think that
so
I've
glad.
taken over her show. She should be back next week, I think. And thank you, Lori, for joining that's coming out and talking to me and joining the shelter staff and coming on here today. And thank you, Mr. Bumpy. Thank you, Bumper.
Beautiful.
He is beautiful. If you were looking for your next best friend, come out to the animal shelter.
Yes.
Adoptions are $20 during the month of September. And see you next week.
Awesome.
Good timing.
Oh, my goodness.